What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the life of a broke genius. Welcome to my channel.
Yeah, I was just going talking and I was it was no sound. Anyways, I was going in on why do people want to live in Brokeistan? I did a video last year explaining Brokeistan and the parameters of it or whatever. And yeah, 2022 people are still, going right there, dwelling in Brokeistan. And what is Brokeistan? It's a lot of things. It's psychological, it's mental, it's sociological. It's basically living off of a borrowed lifestyle, living off of finance lifestyle, without any type of understanding of interest, calculators, calculations, um, assets or liabilities. You know, um, the thing is that why people want to live in Brokistan is because it's a couple things. You know, like I said before, people tend to have the same class system as their parents. Actually, the baby boomers, if your parents are baby boomers, and you're like a Gen X or a millennial, a lot of Gen Xers and millennials are actually doing worse than their parents. Um, so it's like, yeah, I mean, that is a stat that is a fact. I mean, not to be overlooked. Uh, a lot of baby boomers because of job opportunities, educational accolades, they did a very, very relatively well. And uh, you know, Generation X and millennials are still trying to do better than their parents in many regards. Um, and it is a situation where in many ways, like my mom, my dad, they kicked ass. I mean, they were consistent. They had jobs for years, decades. My mom, my dad. But it's certain things that they did that I definitely don't really want to do. And I learned from their mistakes. And one of them was not buying real estate, like basically not buying real estate cash, I'll just say. Like my mom, she used to always want a house already fixed up and ready to go, move in ready. She liked big old frame houses, but she liked them already move in ready. She didn't want to have to wait to fix them up. She didn't want to have to renovate them, none of that. So, I used to tell my mom, just buy this house, and it was 15 grand. This was right around the mortgage collapse or whatever. And she just, like a lot of women, they just really kind of, they don't, they're not taught and groomed and socialized to repair cars and repair houses. So they don't really like to buy stuff that's not ready to go. Not like, you just turn the key and then, walk in it or it starts, you know. It is something that I find that is kind of typical with most women. But the thing is that with that, house that's move-in ready, quote unquote, let's just say a B to A grade or even C grade house. Well, we don't want to say C grade. Typically women they prefer something that's B A-ish grade that you can just kind of move in ready. Uh, they they just it's just how they a lot of times socialize and the thing is that that's understandable, but you gonna pay for that B grade, A grade house. You're gonna pay for that car, that brand new car. It just goes without saying. A lot. A lot of mechanics and used car dealers and car dealers, they make a lot of money off of women because they already know that fact that they want a new car, they want a car with low mileage, they want really just the newest car that they possibly can. uh they make a lot of money off of that fact. But also those things cost. I mean, you know, they cost a lot of money, to get that brand new house or the brand new fixed up condo or whatever. Those things cost a lot of money, and they put you in debt because you can't pay for them. Uh, I actually unfortunately saw my mother just kind of really, really get rocked because she couldn't pay for her mortgage. It was just she got sick, and she couldn't pay for it anymore. And it was like I just saw, her whole world just crumbling down because not only could she not pay for her house, she was in the process of getting a foreclosure, and it was very embarrassing to her and her peers and stuff like that. Because you know, it goes into just kind of keeping up with the Joneses and stuff like that. I just, to me, if something happened to me, I don't really care. But my mom, she was like an extrovert. It really, really hurt her real bad. It was like a blemish. Like I remember my mom didn't never wanted to file bankruptcy because it was just the embarrassment from it. It was just like, it was like, who cares? I mean, but that was how she thought about things a lot of times. But you know, the thing about it is, like I say, a lot of people are socialized by their parents and typically stay in that same class that their parents is. And a lot of times, the reason why they stay in the class is because you know um, they don't have any money to get out. A lot of times, it comes down to having some money. Like for example, Donald Trump, his father gave him $1 million. The rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, my mom gave me like $1,000. My dad gave me, over time, thousands of dollars. But I mean, the thing is that, uh, I didn't really have the insight to really do much with it. But the thing is that a lot of times that's just goes by how much your parents actually have to invest in your future a lot of times. But at the same time, that's one thing. Even if you go outside your parents, one of the tricks that the modern day school system, even to this day, they don't really have a lot of curriculum on personal finance and things about the 70 two rule, the rule of 72 and all that type of stuff. Like, they don't have those types of you know formulas and rules and stuff that they talk about. And you know they don't really talk about a lot of things when it comes to personal finance. It's almost like it's an entrapment to keep you in that state of where you just become just basically a debtor to society, to basically a debtor to rich people. So uh the third thing I would say is that people, um like I said with my mom, they're socialized to try to fit in. And fitting in is getting a house with the picket fence and the mortgage that typically comes along with it. And basically getting more debt, getting a fancy new car and the car payments that come with that. You know, all of these things are the dichotomy of why people live in Brokeistan. You know, the thing is that I get it. Most people can't pay for a mortgage. I mean, pay for a house cash. Um, I'm not anti mortgages myself. I even think that they should change certain rules with the Dodd Frank Act because, be honest, a lot of people are excluded from getting a house because they don't have the credit score to get a house. You know, you got people that they're living in hotels and paying rent because basically they just can't get a mortgage. You know, this Dodd Frank Act, you know, puss ass, faggot ass Dodd Frank, um, made, you know, I don't know where he's at or if he's still living, but they made this law, and after the mortgage collapse, that you can't get a mortgage unless you have a 620 credit score. And what that did was, I get it. It made people, um, kind of excluded from the market that shouldn't be in there. I get it. It is people that are irresponsible. I do think that there should be some type of like credit score that should qualify people, but I think that it should be lowered. And here's what the catch should be for that. Like, I think that people should have to pay a higher down payment to have below a 620, or let's just say a 580 credit score. They should have to pay, like, put down like at least 20 to 30% down. And what that'll do is, let's just say 20% down. You know, that will require them to put a higher down payment to secure the property. They'll have some skin in the game. And then also what it'll do is it'll make the mortgage payments lower, and it'll also force them to abide by actually my rule that I created. I created a rule called the 1.5 rule. And what the 1.5 rule is that basically, just so, because, like, here's the thing. I saw my mom, basically get rocked by not being able to pay her mortgage because basically she was house poor. She got too much house than what her income was. Like, kind of, it was just like a situation where if she lost her job, it would be catastrophic to where it would be, she couldn't hardly pay the payments. Well, the thing is that with the 1.5 rule, you put down your income plus point 0.5 plus half. So I think my mom was making like, I think she was making like 70,000 or something. So she would have, instead of like 150, if she would have followed that rule, she would have been able to afford a house that was a little less than what that house was. The house that she lost was about $150,000. And it was really high taxes, so that was what made the mortgage really high. It was like, I think it was like, I don't remember what the price was, but the thing is that if she would have followed that rule, I didn't even come up with that rule at the time. This was something that I learned from my mother in that situation. And the thing is that she would have been able to afford a house that would have been roughly $110,000. So she would have had less of a mortgage to pay because she would have avoided more house than what she could afford. So it will force people actually to abide by that rule. Actually, it'll even be less because it'll be based off of how much down payment you could put down. And a lot of people ain't got a lot of money to put down. So if you telling somebody that they got to put 20% down, you know, I mean, putting 20% down on $100,000 house, just a $100,000 house, that's $20,000. I mean, people will be hard pressed to put that much down. Now, here's the thing: if they did this right, it will bring the price of houses up, and it'll also create another housing boom because you got more buyers in the market. You got more qualified buyers in the market, so it'll make another housing boom. But the thing is that it'll force people to kind of they'll have to get a less desirable house, and they'll also have to they can only get the house that they could afford, which a lot of people don't even want to do that. Um, but a person like me I'm willing to do that because uh that I just want to get in the game. A lot of people are not even able to get in the game because they don't have the credit to qualify. So anyways, that's my little side note to the whole Dodd Frank Act or whatever. But anyway, that's my viewpoint as far as why people want to live in Brokeistan. It's a social thing, it's a psychological thing, and it's also a conditioning, like it's kind of social conditioning from your parents and even the educational system. So the second thing is how to get out of Brokeistan. Okay, how do you get out of Brokeistan? You got to realize you're fucking broke. Okay, as I stated before, my volume was low. It's obviously it's going to be offensive. Okay, it's going to offend some people. And sometimes I have to offend you. Some of my most offensive videos are when I talk about male hierarchy, basically alpha beta talk and all other stuff that goes with that. And yeah, these videos because basically this is very offensive, you know, um because a lot of people are capping on the internet. The internet is basically a lot of people because you can basically pretend like you're somebody you're not a lot easier on the internet than it is in person. You when you try to pretend in person that you're somebody that you're not, people can kind of see through you because they're seeing you. They're seeing you live in 3D or 4D. Um, you know, and when you're online, they don't know what you look like. Really, I mean, if you coming on camera, yeah, they know what you look like, but they don't know what where you live in. They don't know what you know, look like in person outside of your house, and they don't know intimate details about who you're with all the time, and what I'm saying, all kind of stuff. Like, I'm just saying, from a perspective of somebody that is your neighbor, that see you across the hall or see you across the street or whatever, they kind of can kind of tell and gauge a little bit more about you than if you're on the internet with just a video camera. And then even better, behind the avatar, I mean, you really can pretend then. You could be anybody you want to behind the avatar. That's the whole idea of it. So, you got a lot of people that are pretending like everything is okay. I mean, they're experts in relationships, but they're broke as fuck. I mean, he's like, I mean, like, they're talking about the problems of relationships, but you're broke. I mean, hello. I mean,
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
I mean, it's like literally like all it don't matter. It don't matter about no relationship when you ain't got no money to get off your mama couch. When you ain't got no money to get off your grandma couch. Trust me, I know. I've been there. It don't no relationships matter. I mean, all you can be when you ain't got enough money to take care of basic needs. You could be somebody's fucking cock, warm cock on the couch. I mean, like literally. I mean, you could be somebody's homosexual dream. Like that's all you could be when you ain't got no money, unfortunately. I mean, like only other alternative is to be a consort. I mean, to be a male consort. Like literally, you got some women that are nice enough to actually respect you when you don't have that much money. But as soon as you get out of line, they'll remind your broke ass how they found you, where they met you, and what they did for your broke ass. Like, I mean, it's just that simple. You know, when you ain't got no money, it don't matter about no goddamn relationship. The relationships are fucked up because you're broke. You ain't got nowhere to go when you're broke. You gotta fucking go down the street, up the street, and around the corner. That's your life. Of course you gonna have some problems with women. Can't catch no flight. You can't get off the fucking island of America and go anywhere. I mean, you can't do shit without no fucking money. I mean, like, of course you gonna have problems. Like this is the real deal truth of what I had to realize. When I realized I don't know when I realized it, but when I started to like really break shit down, I understood like, yeah, like I really don't have the money to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. I have to improve so I can. Like, I mean, it's like only thing I could do is be, kind of doing the best I can locally, um, without any fucking money. And then when I really start to realize, and it hit me that a lot of things are related to how um you are just basically on the bottom of this chart right here, that I have to go back to ad nauseum because it explains it just perfectly. Like, I mean, this when I pull this chart out, I know people be like pissed off. Like, I come on other people's channels and shit like that, and people don't really like me. I understand people don't like me. It's because I know you're broke. That's why people don't like me. Because statistically, most people are fucking broke. That's the real deal, Holyfield. Like I hate to bust people's bubbles, but if you got more debt than you have in assets, you're broke. So much so that I mean, you literally like if something happened, I mean, like literally, like let's just say the house did a due in full clause. You don't believe me? This actually happened to a friend of mine that I grew up with. His granddad passed away. He was living with his granddad. And when his granddad passed away, he was just paying the mortgage because his granddad still had a mortgage. He was just paying on it. He was working, and he would just go and just pay with a cashier, not a cashier's check, but a money order. He would go get a money order, write his granddaddy's name on the money order, and then just sent it in. Well, the thing is that it's kind of hard to be consistent. It's kind of very, very difficult to be consistent. Like to go get a money order, you know, get all the money out, then you got a ATM fee, and then also ATMs only give out so much. You know, it's kind of difficult to just, let's just say the mortgage was $800 a month. It's kind of difficult to just get out $800 a month cash, or go to the bank every time you got to pay the mortgage, get out $800, go take it to the cashier, to the currency exchange, pay the 50 cent or whatever, 75 cent for the money order, then get the money order and then mail the money order to the mortgage company. Well, one day he slipped up and he just said, fuck it, I'm gonna send a check. He sent his personal check from his account to the mortgage company. Mortgage company sees said check. I don't know if they cashed it, what the deal was. But once they saw that personal check from his account, they did a due in full clause. What a due in full clause is from the bank, basically saying the contract for the mortgage is no longer valid. Okay, we find suspicion that the mortgage has been transferred or attempted to be transferred from to some other party, some other individual. That's a breach of contract. But we are a bank. We're about the money. If you do have all the money, in question that's owed, we willing to take that money, but you got to pay it all in full, for us to even, consider that option. That's what a due in full clause is. And that's what they actually did. Like I actually, like, literally legit happened to my friend, um that I grew up with pretty much. So I mean, it's like it could happen. But the thing is that a lot of people, if the due in full clause came tomorrow, they wouldn't be able to pay that. They wouldn't be able to pay it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the thing is that, like I say, statistically, most people are broke. They just don't want to admit it. I mean, it's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just be like legit, like I could hear from the sound of people's voice, from what they talk about, they broke. And once I realized that, a lot of relationship stuff kind of like helped me, because I used to be the guy talking about I had another channel a long time ago. I used to be spending hours and hours, talking about relationship problems and, this and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, people that are rich still have relationship problems. You can be rich tomorrow and still have relationship problems. But being poor, broke versus being rich is a whole nother ball game. I mean, I'd rather have relationship problems and have millions of dollars in the bank than have relationship problems and I gotta go knock on my mama door or grandmama door to let me in and go sleep on the couch because I ain't got no money for no hotel. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, But the thing is that once I realized a lot of things is based off of that, and I realized that before, but when I broke it down, that you know you better off working on your problems financially, health wise, or whatever, and just dealing with that first, than basically trying to just kind of um broke your way through it. Shit, legit, like that's the new talking point from yours truly. Broke your way through it. Like, try to make it happen, just be arguing and shit over bills and all the other stuff, over who gonna pay this and who gonna pay that. Like, it's just work on your own personal financial independence, then come from a perspective of like kind of being okay, being debt free, or having a debt management program, and actually running it, and then working on your savings goals, and dealing with that, and then working like legit, like if you literally want to get out of Brokeistan, if you like just in the worst shape of your life, like you literally like so broke you're poor as fuck, like what you got to do. And this this actually came from Dennis Sperling, attorney Dennis Sperling. Like I was talking about it too, but he said the same thing I said. When it's really really bad, like, and you really need a financial boost to get yourself like from overnight to like to be like an overnight financial success, or just kind of like really really work hard in the paint. You need to use a 16-hour cycle. Okay, what I mean by the 16-hour cycle is you need to have a day job and a night job, like primarily even full time. You need to have two full-time jobs. Like, I mean, no video games, no, rarely any Netflix, none of that. All that shit, hobbies. Uh, if your girl tripping on you, never seeing you, bye, bitch. I'm a little ghetto on this live streams. Sorry, but yeah, bye. Oh, you don't like me, you don't like me working all the time. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to be broke anymore. Bye. If you want if you want some other broke nigga, go get him. I ain't the one. I gotta work so I can improve my future. You know, bye. If she don't like it, bye. Two words. I mean, actually three. BYE. And I mean, that's it. Like you work from 8 to 4 or 8 to 5 or whatever, 9 to 5. Get off work, go to the other job. You know, I mean, legit, like that will kick poverty's ass in like about 6 months. You're gonna see some change, and a whole bunch of change because you're gonna have two jobs. You're not gonna be able to spend that much money. One, because you ain't gonna have the time to spend money. You're gonna barely have time to shop. Gonna barely have time to even get groceries. Um, you barely gonna have time for any social life, eat drinks or anything, hang with the homies. You know, you're gonna be working, but your bank account is gonna get a whole bunch of deposits, and you're gonna have more than enough money. Depending on your situations to pay for a place to stay. You ain't got to worry about where you gonna stay, and you gonna have some money coming in over time. You could try to maybe take a couple classes to learn some new skills or something like that. Actually got some money to actually be able to do that in your downtime, because you're gonna be working from 9 to 5, and probably gonna get off the other job at about 12 or 1 o'clock. And you might have the first job, you might have weekends off, and you'll still be able to might have depending on the situation, you might be off on the weekends, you might you know still have to work the other job on the weekend 1 or 2 days. But that is how you could break things off really 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 quickly. I mean, when you're on this bottom level here, and it's just really really bad. I mean, I'm talking about you barely can get a good night's sleep. You can barely have any decent shelter. Um, employment is in question. All this other stuff right here at the bottom here, the orange and the red. that 2 job cycle thing, system, that 16-hour cycle will bust in about a good year. Then you can talk about some yellow, like, being able to have a place to go actually bust a good nut. I'm graphic and vulgar on this one. I hopefully there ain't no kids listening to me. But the thing is that, yeah, on the yellow, you might have a little money for a nice little hotel room, you know, nice decent apartment, bachelor's pad. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to entertain some relationship talk because you got some money, you got some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, the thing is that um that's how you can get out of broke. And you got that, got a little extra money to pay that debt off. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, that's how you deal with that. You basically, you just work, that 16-hour shift, 2 jobs, and then if you can find another job that pays a little money, you just ladder up. You get another job, that pays more, and then you go from there. You know, um, that's how you do that. And it's just that simple. I mean, you know, um, it is what it is. I mean, it might suck, might take you some getting used to. Probably the first month, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna be, tired. You're gonna be, you know, going through a lot of changes, but it's gonna be worth it, because you're gonna be able to deal with those problems. And those problems is you're broke as fuck with no way up. You're gonna be able to deal with that by working that 16-hour shift. I mean, basically, I call it AMG. You don't have to be an AM gangster, and then uh a BMW. Black man working nights. I mean, shit. That's the best way I can. That's what I call it. And then after maybe about a year or two, couple years, let's just say 4 years. After you got things together and stacked a little money, got a little money together or whatever, you might be able to get you a little AMG, a little Benz, and then or BMW, and actually be able to put down a sizable down payment to where it ain't that expensive. But this is a jacket that I saw somebody wear in I was in the DMV, uh secretary, we call it the Secretary of State in Illinois. And I was actually waiting. I think I was trying to get my license straight or whatever. And I I saw that jacket. And that jacket, I mean, it was everything because basically that jacket was pretty much short and sweet, stack of stars. And I don't think it's a lot of people starving. I mean, one thing is people, they gonna have food, but they're starving in other ways. You don't necessarily you don't necessarily have to be starving from food. You may be starving from, not being able to live the life that you really want to live. You know, that's starvation. Shit, But you know, I definitely recommend picking up my book. This book will also do it. I'll tell you how I know. I'll tell you how I know it'll work. That 16-hour shift, that's something that I've done on and off for the last couple years. And that person that was piss pot poor, that was me. And this book is something that I created, a system that I created, and it's helped me get out of my situation where, I was sleeping on my sister's couch, a couple years ago. This book has definitely helped me in that being able to work, and save some money, not party and kick it and bullshit. I mean, it's all right to do it every now and again, but think about it like this. I mean, you want to use all your money, as cause I've read other books as well. It's a book called The Millionaire Fast Lane. In that book, the author, he mentioned that you want to use all your money, all your dollars are like freedom fighters that could possibly fight for your freedom. So every dollar you spend, it gives away some of your freedom. It's some of your power, some of your kind of like reinforcements for your financial freedom. Wherever you put your money, that's where you put your financial freedom. So I definitely recommend this book here. It's not just because I wrote it, because I live it and it's helped me, and it'll help you. If it can help me, it definitely can help you. Because one thing about it is, some people do things better than some other people. Like I've had people that use my system better than I've used it. Like I told somebody something, and then like maybe somebody asked me some advice. Next thing you know, they doing what I told them to do better than I do. So you could fool around and take this system and just like do it better than the person that recommend that is taught teaching it or whatever. Like it's like sometimes the best coaches, their players do better than what they can do with their own coaching, what their own system is. It's like some of the best coaches are really, they're not really that good at what they even coach. Like for example, basketball. Some basketball coaches, they not good at basketball. Some coaches never even played basketball. I think Greg Popovich, he never played basketball before, but he's got a couple championship rings, NBA finals rings, championship rings, and he never played college basketball or high school basketball. So the thing is that yeah, like I say, you definitely want to get serious about it. Definitely want to get serious about it, and you know that's basically something that you can help you get out of Brokeistan. So anyways, yeah, I pretty much see you guys, man. I mean, you got to think about it. Most people are broke. I would say anywhere between 70 to 80% of people are broke. And also, less than about 1% of black people make over $100,000. But you would think the way everybody talks that they make $100,000. I mean, like, like literally, like everybody acts like they're doing fine and everything's all right, and it's like, no, no, it isn't.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop your fucking lying.
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no, to the no, 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 no. Hell to the no, no, to the no, no, no.
If you don't think money can buy happiness, you don't know where to shop. You can get money and then go save the world. You can get money and save the forests in Brazil. You make money and go save global warming. But without money, you can't save a fucking thing. Don't you understand? Don't the fucking idiots on YouTube understand that? Until you make some shekels, until you make some fucking coin, you can't help anybody. Because if love got the job done, you wouldn't all be fucked up.
Message.